There, I'm Claire Chancellor from Be Your Purpose Coaching. Today, I want to talk to you, that soul led coach, the wellness professional, the intuitive psychic. I want to talk to you about what it means to be your purpose, how you can be seen, heard, and valued for what you do and the gifts that you bring to this world. Now, typically, somebody who is driven to serve and help others is an empath. And unfortunately, in this modern day, empaths get a little bit of a bad rap. They're known for a lot of scarcity and limitations about being oversensitive to people's energy, feeling overburdened by too much stimulation, not feeling like you belong in this world, feeling drained quite easily from so much giving, 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 and being misunderstood in this world. The empaths do have a limited point of view when it comes to the noise in this modern day. But the truth is, when you know how to unlock the key to your magnificent gifts, then you are able to step into your purpose and really embrace all the truly amazing things that you bring to this world. Some of those things are activating that healing that you have within you and to be able to help transform other people's lives. I mean, that's why we go into the businesses that we go into, right? But first, before we go down that path, I want to quickly explore how you became an empath. And in fact, why is it part of your soul's journey to begin with? Now, after working with thousands and thousands of clients, I have taken a lot of those people onto empath journeys, quantum journeys, past lives. And the intention for doing that is to recognize that if they are experiencing problems, the limited point of view, the heaviness here on earth in this life, then what we do is we go back into past lives or beyond to have a look at what is those lessons, what is going on there that is like attracting in more of the heavy duty experiences and questioning if that has to be part of their future. And the truth is, no, once you understand why you keep attracting in the limitations, you can easily release that heavy energy, undo that soul contract, and write in a new soul contract for things to be a lot easier, to be part of the community, that like minded community that support and celebrate you, and to really honor the gifts that you bring to this world. Now, with all of these quantum journeys that I've done with clients, we recognize that Mother Earth herself is her own being. It's like she was a spirit who put her hand up and said, okay, I want to come in and experience what it's like to be a planet. Now, that could be completely mind boggling, right? Like being putting her hand up to be a planet. But we all do this. We put our hand up to be male or female. Do we want to come in as an animal? Do we want to come in as a tree? Exploring the threads of consciousness means that we have the opportunity to experience being all the different threads of that blanket. And so when we look at Mother Earth herself, she had put herself out there to be like the jewel, the treasure in the treasure of the multiverse, because she put her hand up to have qualities here on Earth that we just don't have in other realities. Some of those things are the polarity of love and hate or light and dark. We have things here on earth like time. Uh, and as a soul in the spirit world, when you are on your journey to grow and expand and raise your consciousness, coming to earth looks absolutely brilliant. Like, yes, let's come in and experience those heavy energies. Like, that's nothing like we've got in the spirit world. Because, truth be told, up with the angels and the spirit guides, up at that higher frequency, it really is that love, joy, happiness, freedom. So, from their point of view, putting a hand up to come to Earth is quite remarkable and exciting, a little bit like somebody wanting to go on a roller coaster. Now, knowing that Earth is so precious herself in what she brings to people's soul's journey and their growth meant that Mother Earth herself was actually attracting in some pretty dark energy because of the frequency that she carries. And so she put her hand up to say, any light workers, any healers, any of those frequencies in other worlds, please come, please incarnate here and bring the light codes, bring in the activated DNA, bring in your healing abilities, so that we can neutralize out the heavy density that was just being consumed here on this world. And from my quantum journeys that I've done with clients, we often see them in other worlds where they are either like sound healers, crystal healers, water healers. I think I've seen it all, light language, depending on where they are in the multiverse, depended on the types of frequency and codes that they had and access to different types of healing. And so there was this multitude of light workers that came to Earth to bring in all of the different types of healing. Now, when you think about your gifts and you think about like the qualities that absolutely light you up, I can imagine that there's different kinds of people that love working with kinesiology and the way that that frequency works. Some people love to work with Reiki and the way that they channel in all of those healing light vibrations. Some people love to work with sound and the drums and that frequency of sound and how it just almost like breaks up the heaviness. Because you know, when you play music or getting into that drumming ceremony, like it just sort of echoes out and just the density just shifts. And then we can have people who've come from worlds that are natural born teachers and they speak the healing into people by giving them activations and recognizing the truth within. So we have a multitude of different types of star seeds, light workers, empaths coming here on this world to really bring their gifts. But when we were at that soul contract table before we came here on Earth, what we did was we said, we've got all of these amazing things to bring to Earth, throw us into the heavy duty chaos. We want to be able to work right in the trenches, to be able to bring the healing right down deep and let it expand out. And foolishly, we put our hand up to experience pretty much chaotic kind of childhoods. Most empaths, and I say most empaths will have a level of chaos or trauma or just a bit challenging type of childhood where you really have from day one put yourself into a family where you are naturally sort of psychically aware of the energy that's around you. So just as an example, that empath puts their hand up, they're coming to Earth, they're coming into a particular family. And what they do is fast forward to about 3 years old. Mum and dad, obviously, they're in charge of that little one's survival. And this little one is coming with such pure intuition, pure intuition. They are aware of all of the energy around them. And to ensure that their survival and their own growth is looked after, they shift who they are to be able to adapt to the people around them to make sure that their survival needs are looked after. So let's say mum and dad are arguing, and it's just, another day, another week where there's more tension in the family. This little empath will come in and psychically scan the room. How's mum doing? How's dad doing? And not only do they psychically scan the room, they even try on the energy to then being able to recognize, okay, what can I do to keep the peace? This is when empaths start learning and being trained to be people pleasers. This is when empaths are trained to put themselves second. Instead of putting their needs ahead of everybody else, it's like, okay, what does mum need? What does dad need? What can I do to keep the peace? Do I need to get involved and make a joke, or do I need to be quiet and get my siblings away from this? What do I need to do so everybody else is okay? Because once everybody else is okay, as that little one, I can go back to looking at my storybooks or playing with the teddies or doing my drawing. But they can't because their intuition and their psychic gifts, they can't function properly while there's so much chaos around them. So ultimately, again, this is where you're trained to put yourself second. Growing up as an empath, what happens is you have trained yourself to put yourself second. So there's not that internal validation. And in fact, your intuition is a little bit murky now because you know what you know, but the people outside of you have more of a priority or a say. And so you're sort of checking in still, what do you need? What do you need? How can I help? It's all of this giving energy that's being put out to others. Is this starting to sound familiar? And so on that journey, the empath will attract in quite narcissistic people or people with narcissistic tendencies, where the narcissist is somebody who is on their soul's journey to learn what it means to take and to project their power and their control. And the empath is trained to give, give, give. So the take, 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 and the give, give, give actually look like like that at the beginning anyway. That looks like the perfect relationship. It's sort of like, oh my gosh, he completes me. It's sort of like all of my giving he needs and everything I need, I'm being valued for everything that I'm giving. Until such a point in time where the empath recognizes that they are giving, giving, giving and not receiving. It's known that empaths do have a difficult time in receiving money, receiving to be seen, receiving to be heard, because of their training as a little one to put themselves second. So anytime you think about your business, and it's sort of like, is it time to raise my price? Well, what do you think? What do you think? How do I keep the peace? How can I do this within alignment so that everybody's happy? It's like that in itself is a lesson for the empath to put themselves first. So hopefully this is making sense, and hopefully you can start to see how the pieces of the puzzle start coming together to recognize the root cause of what is going on with this natural instinct to just give, please, be that perfectionist. Truth be told, a lot of empaths are perfectionists because of that willing to give so much, make it about the other person, that they can be quite sensitive to the rejection. They haven't been taught how to do that internal validation piece. So it's a natural instinct to to question and doubt themselves, because they're waiting for somebody else to tell them that they've done a good job or that it's right. And so, yeah, the perfectionism, if I can only give more, do more, please more, uh, then I can avoid that awful discomfort. So, bringing all of those pieces of the puzzle to the surface now, I want you to think about how you have been holding yourself back when it comes to your business, when it comes to the way that you put other people first. Have you found yourself like being the one where friends invite you for a coffee and you're like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I'm with like minded people, people that I trust, people that I feel safe with. And then you sit down at that coffee and suddenly it's all about the other person, 45 minutes in, an hour in, and it's still all about the other person. They now feel great. You feel like washed out a little bit, like just been coaching, serving, helping somebody else, and there's an inability to turn it around to make it about you. This is one of the reasons why empaths must learn about speaking their truth, how to protect their energy, because once you've actually graduated from all of this giving and the limiting point of view of being an empath, once you've been able to clear those limitations and those false narratives, the sabotage there, once you're able to clear that, then you recognize that to be friendly and to really honor those people that you want to give means that you have to be vulnerable and let them also help you. So it can feel a little bit like a juxtaposition because you have identified as being the person who can help. I mean, that's why we go into the businesses that we go into, right? So, what can you do moving forward? Well, first, you need to recognize that every time that you have this limited point of view to give somebody else, that you are on that journey of creating burnout, resentment, and it is going to show up in your health. Without the confidence to say, thank you, but no, I can't do that, or no, I can't do that until I've done this thing for myself, until you learn those resources, you are going to continue being in that empathic loop of limitation and scarcity. The empath themselves on that soul's journey have come to this world to take the lead. Now, think about this. Think about the way that we have just completely accepted the system, the governments, the schools, the universities, the push to hustle, that masculine energy of just do, 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 do. At some point, that is going to collapse, and we need people like you, the empaths, the spiritual healers, the soul-led coaches, the wellness professionals to step forward and take the lead to raise the frequency and help people actually recognize how limited we have been and how much easier and lighter it is when we honor our truth. That soul-led truth of like who you are and what it means to be connected to Mother Earth, to be connected to nature, the things that soften our energy actually make us more magnetic than the way that we've been taught to shift and adjust and adapt to the harsh ways. We are on that soul's journey to be able to raise the frequency here with Mother Earth. And some may call it to the 4D, the 5D. But honestly, when you recognize that the people who are stuck down in those polarity, the limiting point of view, the scarcity, those are the ones that are stuck in their ego. They're stuck in that limited point of view. And the empaths have a way of taking the lead to be able to raise that frequency so that they are now functioning from that higher polarity of that love, joy, that sacred neutral. Instead of us merging in with that negative energy, we need to get out of that hole and require those people around us to actually let go of their limitations and join us at that higher frequency. As we know, it can be quite remarkable when you see the outcome from somebody go from like that heaviness of debt to manifesting the wealth and owning their identity, owning their authentic truth. It's like, wow, what an honor to be on that journey with them. Some practical things that you can do as the empath to start to release that heavy energy that you've been immersed in is I want you to first recognize what, why or what is causing you to automatically give. What is that underlying belief or limitation that's probably come from childhood? You are no longer a child anymore. You are a grown up. And so letting go of those limitations. You remember growing up when you were little and you were taught to hold the hand of mum when you crossed the road. Well, at some point in time, that belief transformed itself, and you were no longer looking to hold the hand of mum. You worked out how to cross the road. You worked out that you could be part of this world, free from your mum, free from your caregivers. And so, therefore, what other beliefs are you holding onto from childhood that no longer serve you, especially when you step into that leadership role, right? Have a look at the beliefs on what causes you to automatically want to people please. Is there a fear of rejection, a fear of judgment? And if it is a fear of judgment, I want you to think about what number is that judgment right now? Like if you were fearful of somebody else's judgment, if you raised your price, then on a scale of 1 to 10, what level is that fear? Okay, most people would say it's up at an 8 or a 10. And if we were to reduce that down to a 1, like completely free of other people's judgments being the authority over you, what would you be doing instead? It is like amazing when you recognize that without other people's noise and other people's judgments, without getting stuck in their heavy energy, we have access, that natural intuitive ability to rise up. And again, it is quite stunning when you start to let go of those limitations. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention about what you can do to step into your purpose is recognizing how much you are merging in with other people's energy. People will come to you with their problems, and it's sort of like we automatically sort of intrude on those energy boundaries and we check in what is it like for them? And therefore, what could I do to help them fix it, resolve it? And I want you to notice that with healthy boundaries, you have to stop this addiction or this automatic response to merge with their energy. And in fact, try being more of that sacred neutral and observing what's going on for the other person. If you continue to merge in with people and their problems, your energy will draw it in, draw it in. And what I've noticed within people's energy centers is it's like the back energy centers get completely blocked, like an air conditioning filter. It like gets completely blocked, and you take on more of other people's energy. And then at the end of the day, you're like, I am an empty mess right now. And truth be told, none of that heavy energy is actually yours. You have to learn the ways of having the energetic boundaries, stopping yourself from trying on other people's energy. You have to learn techniques on how to let go of other people's energy so that you can be that true stream of that DNA, the energy healer that you are, that frequency, that higher consciousness. Because while you put your hand up to come to this earth to experience the heaviness of it, once you've graduated from recognizing how heavy it is, you can now raise your frequency. And this is all about that soul's purpose. This is all about why empaths, coaches, wellness professionals, psychic mediums, this is the ultimate lesson for all of us as empaths to step into that higher frequency and to take the lead. Some food for thought there, and hopefully you're feeling your soul absolutely resonate with this message. It's like, yeah, actually, there's a new path forward, and what's ahead is incredibly exciting. So I'm Claire Chancellor from Be Your Purpose Coaching, and I look forward to talking to you later. Bye, guys.